Now, upon being told that Minecraft 1.13 had brought a way to run a command based on the direction that a player was facing, I was a bit more than a little excited. The reason being that this would allow me to condense my command machines into much, much smaller areas and to be infinitely more precise. Now, when I jumped onto the latest snapshot that I could find, which I think at the time was like 15W50A or something stupid, I don't know, I decided to look at there, and when I started opening up the commands to make a new machine, I immediately noticed there were some drastic changes. Now, when I first looked at all these drastic changes, I was confused and thought that they had just broken the game, that they were going to fix it. I later decided to look up online, and apparently they were breaking down every command due to the fact that it was mandatory that they switch all the block IDs to allow the game to possess unlimited blocks. Now, I'm fine with the breaking block IDs because I don't honestly use them, but I was a little angry, not angry, angry makes me sound like I was actually mad, but I was pretty frustrated with the fact that they had decided to break every command down, because they figured that changing the block IDs would cause them to have to break every, or not have to, but they figure that it's going to break a lot of commands. I personally don't use block IDs, as I just stated, whatever. So, thing is that because they had to break that in order to implement any new blocks, they decided just to scrap everything, burn it down, just to fix basically any command that could have some fixing or improvements, just to optimize the speed and performance of commands. Now, I've been rambling for a while, I should probably skip on to the video. Now, anyway, I didn't necessarily agree with that opinion, because I was like, what the heck, 1.12 commands were fine. So I decided, well, if 1.13 is going to come one way or another, I can just decide not to update it, but I still want to know how to use these new improved, and I say that, that's not how you spell improved, whatever, improved commands. So I decided to check it out, decided to start building a few machines, and after I learned a bit more, it was mostly self-taught, but after I learned how to run these commands, I loved it. Hello everybody, I am the Diamond Espeon. Here, this is my beautiful face, and I'm going to show off a brand new command machine that I built in the 1.13 snapshots, specifically 18W01A. I did not memorize that. I'm looking in the top right left-hand corner of my screen. Anyway, so to use this command, you're going to need a few things. One of them is a carrot on the stick, the other one's a hand. And if you want to optimize the ability of this command, you're going to need a water bottle or a potion of choice. So you're just going to have to walk right up to this command, flick the lever. That flame particle was kind of irrelevant. It's because of some scoreboard crap. Now, if you look over to our right, it's right, okay, right, you'll see a scoreboard called limits and a tag for a player, not really a player, but a, in quotes, player named Hazel. Now, this is actually kind of a reference to a book that this command machine is based off of. Nathan, if you're watching this, you'll get it. Anyway, this character is capable of producing ice 3 blocks in the direction in which they're looking. Yes, I don't have to build a massive platform unlike the last machine that was very similar to this was. In fact, this is actually, it's only 2x2x3, and like 2 of these spots aren't even being used. So, anyway, grab your carrot on the stick, right-click with it, and the particle effect isn't actually mandatory, it's just to kind of guide it. And you'll immediately notice that you start building just junk. Here, I built a staircase, it's beautiful. You can also build it to, you know, build it, yes. No, you can actually use it to make, like, a weird dome thing. That's mildly inconsistent, but, I mean, it's more consistent than my actual building is, so, I don't know about that, but that's pretty darn cool. You can also, I mean, this wall can also be used as a defense against, say, ghasts, if they're, you know, blowing crap up and you need to not die. It can be used as a shelter to become invisible, or to just wall yourself, like, see? Boom! Can't touch this. Okay, I actually don't want you nuking the entire world. Let's run a game rule. Mob griefing. True? No. False? No. And then we'll run difficulty peaceful, because I do not want these guys in the world anymore. Now, this is a great feature and all, but, of course, there's going to be a bit of a mishap here. You probably want this thing removed at some point, because if you're, like, in game mode adventure, you're not physically able to break this. So, if I'm later to implement this in, like, a map, which, by the way, I'm contemplating whether or not I should, because I heard that execute was pretty good for map makers, and I run execute all the time, so maybe I should try it out. Anyway, that's kind of irrelevant. Say you want to destroy this ice because you're in bench mode and you can't frickin' break it or it's going to take forever. Well, this is where a new feature that I added comes into play. When you hit shift, a little fire particle effect will come on. This character cannot actually manipulate fire. This is just kind of to represent it. Now, this is not perfectly on the cursor because this command doesn't work perfectly on the cursor. If we just start walking around, wherever that fire particle is, it will begin to melt the ice. The fire particle isn't actually melting the ice, duh. It's just to show where it's intended to defrost it. This is a special little feature that I figured was mandatory, or not entirely mandatory, but kind of important if you didn't want to, ice the crap out of your world. Now, unfortunately, this does not work on that water, so we're a bit in trouble. We can use the ice, but it doesn't work in non-air blocks, so you can't necessarily use it to remove water, but I guess that's whatever. This feature allows you to, the ice is in pretty large quantities, like, boom, in pretty large quantity. Yes, sorry, that did not make any sense. Anyway, you can use it for like a defense, defense, offense, potentially to trap, say, Tony the Villager. Your name is Tony now, okay? You called that? Butcher? No. Your deals are terrible, so I'm going to trap you in this stupid cage of ice. It's really hard to control. Goodness. Wait, okay. Whatever. Pretend I trapped him. Anyway, you will notice over to the right side, the limits level has gone down quite a bit. Now let's just go over to the vacuum chamber and burn off the rest of it. I turned it off, didn't I? Go over to the vacuum chamber and burn off the rest of these levels. Now, you'll notice the level limit has hit 0. You're probably wondering, what does this level limit have to do with anything? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just for aesthetics or something. It's not, by the way. So if you didn't know, we have now used this command to spawn into 100 blocks of ice. Now, I decide that I want to build myself a pyramid. But nothing's happening. I am actually spamming right click, if you didn't know. I don't know where the microphone is, so... yeah, it's the sound of my right click. It's not working. So this is where the water bottle and potion... see, water bottle, potion, comes into play. When you start drinking the water bottle, you'll get 25 levels of limit left. Now it's going to pre-spawn that in because scoreboard mechanics or whatever. This also works for potions. It's mostly because the scoreboard I used was potion drink and water bottle falls under that. So realize that pretty much drink anything and you're fine. Now this is actually pretty darn cool because you know what that means? You can go back to level 100 again. And, okay, we good. Now, the thing is that you're realizing probably at this point is, wow! If we can up our levels for limits, doesn't that mean that we can go infinite and then rush into battle with the ability to flood the entire area with ice? Unfortunately, sir, that is a no. See, as you can tell, over to my right, the limits level is at 99. And just for proof of concept, see I'm using it again. The levels are now at 95, and if I drink another water bottle, it's going to raise, but then go right back to 100. This feature primarily just made sure that nobody overruns the limit commands, and because, that's going to be rather glitchy, and we can go from this water. You'll notice it pops up to 125, and then goes back down. Same right here, same diff. Now, same diff, whatever. Anyway, so, this ability actually was a bit buggy. This is a bit of a disclaimer at the end. This ability is a bit buggy due to the fact that for some reason, the command's resetting the command, resetting the scoreboards, I cannot English today, resulted in being very weirdly acting if you tried to place it with the other blocks. Like, I don't know why. It's like, literally, I was doing the exact same thing, but the moment that I put it in the same strand of redstone as the other command blocks, which is scoreboard, which is like scoreboard reset RC, which is my right-clicking scoreboard with carrot on the stick, and then my sneaking scoreboard. For some reason, they had to be powered by a different lever on a different strain of redstone from everything else. Because, like, the second I combine them, it's like, for some reason, just glitches out. 1.13 doesn't really have too many, like, it has a few glitches. I've already found one where I tried to custom name an item, and every time I go over it, it would crash my game. And unfortunately, when I scrolled over it while I was in my hotbar, it was basically permanent, crashing. So I actually had gone over to an earlier variation of the snapshot, the item disappeared, fortunately, and I went back to 18W01A. So, beyond there, that is my little command machine. If you liked this video, which you probably didn't because it was ridiculously long and kind of cringy, please smack the like button. If you have any more suggestions, comment them. I'm going to be showing off this mamma jamma of a thing, very chaotic thing, in my next video. And I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.